Have you ever stopped to wonder what would happen if bees disappeared from our world? It's a dire thought, isn't it? But why does this tiny creature matter so much? Well, bees are more than just honey makers. They are industrious insects that play a pivotal role in our ecosystem. Bees are part of the Hymenoptera order, known for their highly organized colonies. Here, each bee has a specific role, with everyone from the queen to the worker bees contributing to the survival and prosperity of the hive. Diversity is another fascinating aspect of the bee world. From honeybees, bumblebees, to solitary bees, each species exhibits unique behaviors and colors. Some live in large colonies, others prefer a more solitary lifestyle. Some are expert honeymakers, while others excel in pollination. These buzzing creatures are the planet's most important pollinators. As they flit from flower to flower in search of nectar, they inadvertently transfer pollen, assisting in the reproduction of flowering plants. This process ensures the production of a vast array of fruits, nuts, and seeds that form the cornerstone of many food chains. But it's not just about food. The pollinating work of bees also contributes to the biodiversity of our landscapes. From vibrant meadows to lush forests, bees help to create and sustain the habitats that countless species call home. Furthermore, bee behavior is a marvel to behold. They communicate through intricate dances and pheromones, coordinating their activities to optimize resource collection. They navigate complex environments using landmarks and celestial cues, and can travel long distances just for food. From gathering nectar to raising their brood, every bee has its role in the survival of the hive. Their tireless efforts enrich our world, ensuring the continuation of many of the natural processes we often take for granted. So the next time you see a bee buzzing around your garden, take a moment to appreciate the tiny yet integral role it plays in our world. One of the most remarkable aspects of bees is their role as pollinators. As they flit from flower to flower in search of nectar, they inadvertently perform a task vital to the survival of many plant species. Their fuzzy bodies become dusted with pollen, a fine powdery substance containing the male gametes of seed plants. As they move on to the next flower, some of this pollen rubs off, fertilizing the plant and enabling it to produce seeds. Bees are, in fact, the world's most important pollinators of food crops. It is estimated that 1/3 of the food we consume each day relies on pollination mainly by bees. This includes fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, and even some crops used for oils, fibers, and medicines. Without these diligent workers, our diets would become incredibly dull and far less nutritious. Their role, however, extends beyond our dinner plates. Bees are key to a diverse and healthy ecosystem. They pollinate plants that create habitats for other wildlife, and their work ensures the survival of many species of birds and mammals that rely on seeds and fruits for sustenance. In essence, bees are the linchpins of the ecosystems in which they reside. But pollination is not simply a one-way street, it's a symbiotic relationship where both parties benefit. The plant gets to reproduce, and in return, the bees get the nectar they need to feed themselves and their hive. It's a delicate balance, and like a well-choreographed dance, each participant knows their role and performs it flawlessly. Despite their diminutive size, bees have an enormous impact on the world around us. Their tireless work sustains our ecosystems, fills our grocery stores, and nourishes our bodies. But their contribution often goes unnoticed, their efforts unseen. Their tiny bodies, dusted with pollen, are the unsung heroes of our food production. Let's take a moment to appreciate these industrious insects, for they are far more than just bees. They are the guardians of our gardens, the keepers of our crops, and the sustainers of our ecosystems. Their work is vital to our world, and it's high time we recognized it. Their tiny bodies dusted with pollen are the unsung heroes of our food production. Bees are not just pollinators, they are also incredibly efficient workers. Their industrious nature and remarkable abilities set them apart in the insect world. While their role as pollinators is vital, it's their efficiency that truly makes them an amazing spectacle. Let's consider their ability to travel long distances. A bee, despite its small size, can cover several miles in a single day, visiting hundreds of flowers to gather nectar and pollen. This is akin to a human running multiple marathons daily, a testament to their endurance and determination. Bees also possess a keen sense of navigation. They use landmarks, the position of the sun, and even polarized light that humans can't see to find their way. No matter how far they stray from their hive in their quest for food, they can always find their way back home. It's like they carry a sophisticated GPS system in their tiny brains. Moreover, bees have a complex communication system, a language of their own, that allows them to share information about the location of food sources. The famed waggle dance is a form of communication where a bee performs a special dance to convey the direction and distance of a food source to its hive mates. It's a beautiful ballet of information exchange, a dance of survival. In addition to this, bees use pheromones or chemical signals for communication. From alerting the hive of a threat to guiding bees towards a new home, pheromones play a vital role in the life of a bee colony. All these traits, the ability to cover long distances, navigate complex environments, and communicate effectively, make bees incredibly efficient workers. They work tirelessly, driven by a common goal: the survival and prosperity of their colony. Their intricate communication systems allow them to work in harmony, optimizing their survival. Remember, these tireless workers aren't just buzzing around aimlessly. They are nature's little marvels, performing tasks vital for our ecosystems, our food supply, and ultimately, our survival. So next time you see a bee, take a moment to admire its industrious nature and remarkable abilities. It's not just a bee, it's a tiny marvel of nature. Unfortunately, these hardworking insects face numerous threats in today's world. Despite their tremendous importance to our ecosystems and food supply, bees are under siege from a variety of factors that are largely human-caused. One of the main threats bees face is habitat loss. With increasing urbanization and intensive agricultural practices, vast areas of natural landscapes are being transformed, leaving bees with fewer flowers to forage and fewer places to nest. As bees lose their habitats, they also lose the diverse array of flowers they need to maintain a balanced diet and healthy immune system. Pesticides are another major threat to bees. These chemicals, often used in agriculture to control pests, can have deadly effects on bees. Exposure to pesticides can impair a bee's ability to forage, navigate, and reproduce, and can even lead to immediate death. Some of these chemicals are systemic, meaning they can contaminate the entire plant, including the nectar and pollen that bees collect. Parasites and diseases also pose significant threats. The varroa mite, for instance, is a parasite that feeds on the bodily fluids of honeybees and their larvae, weakening their immune systems and making them more susceptible to viruses. Lastly, climate change is reshaping our planet in ways that are not favorable for bees. Rising temperatures and changing weather patterns can disrupt the timing of flower blooming, leading to a mismatch between when flowers are available and when bees need them for food. Severe weather events such as droughts and heat waves can also reduce the availability of flowers and hence the food supply for bees. These threats can weaken bee colonies with cascading effects on our ecosystems and agriculture. When bee populations decline, the pollination of many plant species is compromised, which can lead to reduced yields of crops and a decrease in the diversity of wild plants. This, in turn, can have far-reaching implications for the entire food web, affecting other wildlife and even human populations. The plight of bees is not just a crisis for bees themselves, but a crisis for all of us that share this planet with them. But all is not lost. We can play a role in protecting these vital pollinators. As we face the reality of declining bee populations, it's important to remember that each of us can contribute to the preservation and protection of these industrious insects. From the smallest garden to the largest agricultural fields, actions taken can make a significant difference in the survival of bees and other pollinators. One of the simplest and most effective ways to help bees is by preserving and creating wildflower habitats. Wildflowers provide a rich source of nectar and pollen for bees, supporting their nutritional needs throughout the year. By planting a diverse range of native wildflowers in our gardens, parks, and green spaces, we can help to provide a continuous food source and habitat for bees. Reducing pesticide use is another key strategy in preserving bee populations. Pesticides, particularly those known as neonicotinoids, can have detrimental effects on bees, impairing their navigation, foraging, and reproductive abilities. By opting for organic and natural pest control methods, we can help to minimize the exposure of bees and other pollinators to harmful chemicals. Supporting bee-friendly gardening practices is another way we can contribute to the health and well-being of bees. This includes providing a source of clean water for bees, leaving patches of bare soil for ground-nesting species, and avoiding the use of peat-based composts which can deplete valuable peatland habitats. In addition to these practices, we can also support local beekeepers and honey producers who play a vital role in maintaining healthy bee populations. By purchasing locally produced honey, we can help to sustain the livelihoods of these bee guardians and encourage the practice of sustainable beekeeping. Education and awareness are also crucial in protecting our pollinators. By spreading the word about the importance of bees and the threats they face, we can inspire others to take action and join in our collective efforts to safeguard these essential creatures. By safeguarding these industrious insects, we can ensure they continue to thrive and fulfill their essential role in our world.